What's up, everyone? Thelxanoa here, but you can call me Thel. Now, I'm a massive sweet tooth and an equally massive lover of making art, so here's what I did. I researched a bunch of types of candy and compiled the list into a spinner wheel. I spun it 3 times for each character I was going to make to get 3 kinds of candy to draw on, as well as a separate generator I made to determine the character species. For this character, I rolled Laffy Taffy, candy canes, and Butterfingers, and I had to make a fairy. The candy canes and even the Laffy Taffy were fairly easy. The Butterfingers were a problem. I was thinking about leaning into some sort of uncanny valley vibe because of how Butterfingers are a faux form of chocolate, but I don't really know how to do that. So I just settled on the iconic yellow and blue color scheme. The hair was meant to vaguely resemble stretchy taffy. And as for the candy cane, one of the ways I used it was as a literal cane, though more realistic than that classic J shape. And I decided from there to make all the characters in this batch visibly disabled. I am, of course, taking constructive criticism on how I drew these aids, especially since all my disabilities are mental. Just please be nice to me. My intent is good. Anyway, I don't have much left to say about the process until the coloring phase, and I didn't make much in the way of lore because I didn't want to get too attached to these characters. I do imagine, though, that this character is a bit like Sans, a massive jokester but able to get serious when the chips are down. I really wanted to make the wings like these adorable candy cane hearts I found, but I had used candy canes a lot and Butterfingers not that much, so I had to change my plans. In the video, I skipped ahead to coloring because I couldn't think of anything else to say, so I gave my character blank heterochromic eyes in the Butterfinger branding colors. I don't remember much of my thought process anymore since, as of this part of the voiceover, I drew these characters well over a month ago. I'm giving them that taffy hair. In retrospect, I wonder whether giving them multiple hair colors would have been cool or just too busy. Given the coat is multicolored to reflect this multi-flavor Laffy Taffy pack I found in my research, probably the latter. The sleeves, of course, have that candy cane vibe, with opposite arrangements of stripe and color to mix things up. You can see what I mean now about the coat. Honestly, I'd wear that in real life. The pants reflect the inside of a Butterfinger, and I add that little flourish at the bottom just for visual interest. Shoes are the same mismatched colors as the eyes, just on opposite sides. From here, all I have to color is the earrings and the wings, and we can call this character done. And here's the finished result. This one might be my favorite of the 3. I try not to get attached to any of them, but I kind of am to this one. For this next character, I rolled Tootsie Pops, Marshmallows, and Almond Joy, and I had to make a vampire. I decided to put them in a wheelchair because I had an idea for what to do with the wheels. This took some research, but I hope I got it looking right. You might also notice that little fluff bit on the neck. I like to put them on my vampire designs to make them more bat-like. I really like non-human traits. Hey, I have to cosplay a human around humans every day. Why carry that into my hobbies? I gave them red eyes with black sclerae for that ooky spooky vampire factor, and big nerdy glasses like that weird mascot Tootsie Pops had. You know, the old wise owl that couldn't get through a Tootsie Pop without biting it. In case you were wondering, due to differences in tongues and Tootsie Pops, answers to how many licks it actually takes vary from the 200s to the 2000s and even more. Back to the character at hand, I put on big fluffy ears for the same reason as the neck fluff and gave them earrings that represent the Tootsie Pops. Gave them white hair like a marshmallow with hair accessories that represent the toppings on the picture I put at the beginning. The flower on their hair is based on that of an almond. I made their outfit blue and white like the Almond Joy packaging, with a little blueberry on the shoulder because it's also a flavor of Tootsie Pop. You're about to see why I made them a wheelchair user. Little decorative bits on the wheels out of the spokes look like Tootsie Pops. Kinda proud of myself for that one. And then I colored the wheelchair in just normal black, and I give them pants that look like the coconut center of an Almond Joy, complete with light brown bits like the almonds. A little sad that I didn't get to represent the marshmallow as much, but there's not really much I could do with it. And the second character is done. I'm also quite proud of them. What a cutie. The final character for today is based on pixie sticks, cotton candy, and candy corn. They're a heartbeat with a prosthetic leg. I don't think they're my best work, especially compared to the others I drew here, but they're still pretty cute. I gave them a prosthetic leg so I could base it on a pixie sticks tube. I specifically made it like a running blade that athletes use, although looking back it doesn't quite look right. My bad, if I ever draw them again I'll fix that. The other leg, as well as their wings, other feathers, and eyes, are colored after candy corn. Big poofy hair for the cotton candy was impossible to resist. Couldn't decide whether to make it blue or pink, so I just made it both. I don't recall why I gave them glasses too. I think it just felt right, honestly. They have little ear feathers, though looking back, I don't have thinly textured hair, so I don't know whether it makes sense for the ear feathers to be coming out this clearly through it. Can anyone who does give me some guidance here? Apart from that, we have the shirt striped in such a way to remind of both candy corn and a pixie sticks tube, and finishing up the prosthetic leg, we're done. And that's a wrap. Here's the final character. Despite all the flaws I mentioned, I think they're not half bad. And with that, my first character design video is done. I hope you enjoyed it. Have any advice on how to make these designs and videos better? I'd love to hear it. Ta-ta for now.